Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Xbox North podcast, episode 29, a Halo Infinite spoilered podcast. We're going to tell you everything about how we feel. This is a
we're gonna
spoiler.
get
That's
real spoiler.
yeah,
We all beat it, right?
yes. Oh yeah, I beat it. I
Yeah.
think we all beat it. So we had to talk about it. And we got a ton of news about the many games that were revealed in the Game Awards. So this is a pretty exciting podcast because we just get to talk about games, and we get to talk about also our favorite game that we've been dying to, play for a long time. So yeah, just completely excited. I'm happy to be back. I'm Andrew Vindren, always coming from my bi-weekly adventures at the Xbox North podcast with the two mainstays of the show, Joshua James and Dan Robertson. I'm going to start with you, Josh. How's it going, homeboy? It's good to see your face. Looking really nice today. Loving the chief on the right.
Okay. Need to get a haircut though, but
Nice.
it's going good. Got some dentist work done.
Yeah.
So you gotta love it when you go to the dentist and you haven't really flexed your insurance yet, and you're just like, how much is this gonna cost? And they're like, oh, it's 100% covered, and you're like, yeah, and you walk out like. And I'm like, I should know my coverage better, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Only adults will know this stuff. Only adults will talk about this.
well, no, it's like COVID like messed all that stuff up. So like, I would have
True.
been going like way more often and like getting that stuff like, but I got like 2 cavities done, and they mended a tooth together with. There was a bit of a crack in it, and they fused it with Kevlar. So I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like, it's the stuff they used in bulletproof vests. I'm like,
Yeah. So you're a Spartan now.
yeah. So I'm like, magic powers?
Yeah.
Huh?
Like
I can
either
pull
bulletproof?
cars with my tooth, I just rope it around that fucker. But that sucked for sure. It's always weird when like your a quarter of your face is all numbed out, and then like you get an itch on your face, but you can't itch it. And you're like going crazy because you can't itch your face. You're like scratching your face, but nothing's happening, but you can still feel this itch in your face. And that lasted for like 20 minutes. It was the worst 20 minutes. Like, wow.
Yep.
Just like if it's like that control is just ripped away from you. That was terrible. But I got to, play some games.
Nice.
Finished Halo, and we'll discuss that for sure. Definitely have some feelings. I was trying to get all my thoughts together on how I feel about this game now that I'm kind of looking back at it and comparing it to the other iterations, even the 343 versions that they brought prior to this.
Yeah.
But back at the Final Fantasy 13 grind. I'm
Nice.
looking forward to the gunk this week, so I think that's actually tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, the 16th. Yeah. Oh, well, the day before, if anybody was listening, but yeah. Yeah.
And did you see there was a ton of, well, not a ton, but a few kids game coming to get Game Pass this month. The Paw Patrol game.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get my hands on Paw Patrol. Not really. I can't wait for my son to try Paw Patrol. Yeah. But, he can play on my profile and unlock all the achievements.
Nice.
Me, so.
Awesome.
Did I figure they can farm achievements for me?
Yeah, they'll farm achievements for me. I'd be like, oh no, you're doing this one. You know what? Give me the controller. I'm just gonna fly through this ring really quickly and get this achievement. Here, yeah, you can.
Go back. Yeah. Well, that's adult gaming right there, or fatherhood gaming. Yeah.
Also,
Nice.
there's like this Ryan Kart Racer and Transformers
Battlegrounds.
Battlegrounds based off like the cartoon. So, I look forward to throwing those in and sitting down with because he's getting way more curious about wanting to play. He's like, play games, and he try and finds his controller and stuff. It's fun.
Nice. That's amazing. Such an early age, getting there. That's adorable.
Yep.
That's the best.
Yeah. Also with me, probably not going to talk that much just because he's under the weather, but our man, Dan Robertson, the man in the booth. Dan, how's it going, buddy? How you feeling?
I'm sure you guys can hear me. little nasty, not COVID or anything, so we're all good there. But yeah, mostly just like a sinus infection. Been fighting off for the last couple of days and sounding a little funny. But yeah, beat the Halo campaign. Probably spent, I think I beat it the first out of all of us because I spent a little too much time doing it.
I know.
You went hard. I was looking at your secrets too. I'm just like, oh, he got all the logs, all the skulls.
I was
got
annoyed.
Everything except one audio log.
Oh.
And the only reason I didn't get that one audio log is it's in one of the missions, and I managed to miss it. And I can't, like the skulls, you can go back and you can get on any profile.
Yeah.
So I did that early on and replayed the beginning couple of missions and got the skulls. And then I went and ended up, trying to do the audio logs all at the end, just before I did the last, or actually no, just after I completed the last mission. I was I was roaming around the whole world looking for anywhere that I was missing one, and I found out that I was missing one in the Nexus. And I was looking it up, and I was like, oh, damn, I need to do this in a mission. So I got to wait until they come out with the replayable missions, which they said they're going to do. So I can do that. Because otherwise, like the audio logs, they don't transfer over across profiles. So when you start a new game, you have to get all of the audio logs again. And like I'd have to 100% a whole different game.
Jeez. Wow.
I'm so surprised there's no like replay missions. Like that blows my mind. That I can't click on like one of the icons on the map because it even shows you. It's just like this mission. This is the one you played. I'm like, let me click that and just like go right.
Like how you did in Destiny. You know what I mean?
I feel like
exactly. I was thinking exactly that. I was like, just like you do in Destiny.
Just do that.
I feel like they meant to, and they must have been running into too many bugs or something.
Yeah.
Like it was causing an issue with the storyline or something. But at least they're planning to fix that and get them properly. So.
Nice.
Destiny and Halo share the same engine, though. Like, even though they're like, this is the split space engine, they said it's still rooted in the original Halo engine.
Probably got a lot of its coding.
Destiny runs on a heavily modified version of the original Halo engine.
Yeah,
so they share that kind of DNA.
Well, earlier today, I got to try some of that new Matrix game, the little demo type game.
Yeah,
it looks amazing.
Like I can't believe
I'm going to do that soon. I'm going to do that hopefully later on tonight. That's amazing.
I have a feeling that it will have a lot of people are like, this shows that the Xbox Series S is a next-gen machine. But you were saying, sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say there isn't too much like actual gameplay. Like there's the opening scene and everything, and then it's just flying around, and it's a tech demo because that's what it is.
Yeah. But
like it was super cool to just like drive around and everything and kind of see like even the differences. There was like a couple of shots I'm pretty sure are of Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss who are actually there, and then there's times when there's CGI and everything, and it's not always so easy to tell which one's which.
For like a minute you're like
getting really close.
You're like that's unreal.
Yeah. See, it's weird.
Just crazy.
Sorry, go ahead.
It looks like Toronto, though. Did you notice that? If I know people will be like, it just looked like a generic city. I'm like, well, I guess Toronto looks so generic that like, I'm like, there's moments there. I'm like, this looks like the corner of, like where where like the Don Valley. Is it not the Don Valley Park? What's that bridge highway near the lakeshore?
The Gardner.
Yeah. It reminds me of like where the Gardner is, and there's like the parking lot underneath it and stuff like that, and the buildings next to it. So that's what it reminded me of, because there's the whole highway going through the whole thing.
Jeez.
But like the graphics are like mind blowing, right? Like
it
looks so photo real, and imagine that at just like a smaller scale. They're like, look what we can render out into an entire city, which. When you go up into the air, I was like even showing Carly it, and she's like, I'm like, this is all rendered, and she's like, no, like you can't go there, and I'm like, I'll see, and then I went there, and she's like, this is nuts.
Right.
Nice.
And it runs like really smooth too. Like I was surprised at how nicely everything was running and everything. Like, not that I expect anything bad from the Series X, but
Would this be the official first Unreal Engine 5 like ever thing released now? Like, even though it's a demo? Because, like,
I think playable demo, yeah. Like, at
I
least
think
like
that first, yeah,
playable game with that engine.
playable.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Nice. I'm going to try it after this episode for sure. I will definitely try it after this episode.
Yeah,
It's
it's
cool.
mind-blowing because you can...
And you can like switch into
it's-
fly mode and everything and fly around.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Jesus. Oh my God. I feel like watching the Matrix movies over again now. I just feel like...
It's just like a camera moving around, but you can like look at things so like close and read. Like the textures are insane. You can read
Nice.
like the paper and
Yeah.
stuff. And then you can fly up into the sky so high up and everything looks so good. And then when you press that button and it pulls you down really quickly into the person, the fact that it can pull you down that quick and and there's like no
Render
pop
everything.
in,
Yeah.
oh, man,
It's amazing. That's amazing. Awesome.
Well, and it also shows that the Series S is a next-gen machine. It runs that demo really well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
And
amazing.
it even shows you like you can tap and see like with textures, without textures, like how
Yeah,
the whole
Mhm.
engine actually works.
Yeah.
It's really cool. You can see the people that it's populating and AI and everything moving around. It's cool.
Awesome.
Uh,
Can't wait to try it.
Andrew,
Can't wait.
what about yourself?
Well,
How you doing?
obviously before we talk about Halo Infinite, and obviously I just did play nothing but Halo Infinite. Obviously watched the Game Awards. I kind of want to have a little tiny rant about how I think it's just too freaking damn long, and it's a little too much about the marketing and not really about the games that are being, getting the acclaim. I feel like it's becoming like another Golden Globes, or kind of becoming another what do you call it? Super Bowl. It feels like the Super Bowl, where it's not even the game itself, it's about the commercials and the marketing. And I just felt like when I watched it, I was like, man, I just felt like that was 3 hours of my time that I wish it was shrunk down or set in different days or something. Or, you know what I mean? I'm happy about all those game reveals, but I was like watching this and going like, damn it. I think games as a medium is so fun and it's so great. I just feel like now we're doing this thing at the Game Awards where it's like, we're upping every reveal, and it's becoming more important than than the acclaim of the award show itself. So I just kind of got annoyed about it. I don't know about you, Josh, about that. I don't know how you feel about the Game Awards or anything like that, but
it's funny that you were saying that it's all about an ad. Like, it's not even about the awards anymore, because half the awards they'll be like, oh, and this game won best sports game, and this other game won this category and this category, and they'll just like ramble off like 3 awards, and they'll be like, and then on to our sponsor.
yeah. What was it? There's that really funny mode that's becoming a meme where, and award goes to Genshin Impact, and and you're just like, okay, like best mobile game, and you're just like, did this person even know the game that they're talking about? Gens, but no. Other than that, I've downloaded a few stuff in Game Pass that I'm hoping to play. I'm hoping to play the new Aliens game that just came out in Game Pass, Fireteam Elite. I heard it's not bad. I heard it's not great, but it's like a really fun Gears clone.
Okay.
Hopefully you guys try it too. I heard it's a 3-player co-op.
Does it have like duck and cover?
Yeah, I think it's exactly Gears with aliens, the alien of like clone, but it's not aliens, colonial marines that got really widely panned. Apparently this is in the low 7s, so it's actually apparently a decent game that got made by some like a new team of like pretty good developers and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And then obviously we should just get to it, because I feel like all I want to do is about to start Halo, and I'm just like, let's just start talking about Halo Infinite, the big guy, the Chief. I'm so happy he's back. I'm so happy this game is, a Master Chief story, finally, after, replaying Halo 5 just before I got into Halo Infinite. We got to talk a lot of stuff. Obviously, we don't need to talk about the multiplayer, because the multiplayer stuff has already been talked about. This is a campaign discussion. This is a story discussion. This is a spoilered discussion. So if anybody that wants to watch the podcast is a little bit scared about it, I would say maybe at this time, whatever, my hands are waving. I'm just saying this is a spoilered campaign discussion. But it's already been a week and a half, so I feel like everyone who's been playing it has already beaten the campaign. But
I mean, I almost 100%ed it, so you should be able to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Josh,
hear this
you
by
beat it.
now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to ask about how you guys think it stacks up with the other Halos. I want to say some of my stuff, and I hope you guys can, obviously, especially you, Josh, I want you to chime in. Right now, the Metacritic rating is around 87, which I think is a very good score for a game, especially a modern-day game, because I think high nines, which was kind of like a Halo norm for a long time, especially the original trilogy, I feel like it's a pretty good score where it's at. There's a lot of things to talk about, but first of all, I just want to talk about what you think the story racks up against all the other Halo games ever made. Personally, I think it's one of the better ones, but what do you think, guys?
The story, I would say, is definitely one of the better stories, for sure.
Yep.
Which is funny because they use the enemy from Halo Wars in it, and I found the Halo Wars story to be, out of the new Halo games, the better kind of story.
Halo Wars 2? Yeah.
Yeah, especially Halo Wars 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely think the story in it is definitely one of the better stories for sure. But I think that the campaign for Halo 4 and the story in Halo 4 was a better story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the 343 ones, though.
Yeah.
Definitely better than 5 story for sure.
Yeah,
I
think
I found 5 a little convoluted.
Yeah.
And it was like,
bloated.
it got a little much, and this was much better laid out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to nail both things this time around, the multiplayer and the story mode, which was good because they got the multiplayer bad in 4 and the story mode good in 4. They got the story mode bad in 5 and the multiplayer good in 5. Or the story bad in 5 and the multiplayer good. So they finally got both things right.
Obviously before we go to like the gameplay and all the open road stuff and what we rack up, there's one thing that I really want to talk about, because the reason why I think I really liked Halo Infinite is because I actually really liked the characters this time. There was always the big issue that I had with 4 and 5, especially with 343. They always had these other characters that I just couldn't stand. Like in 4, I didn't like Sarah Palmer's character, and in 5, obviously I didn't like Locke's. In this one, I feel like this was my very first time, even though I want to say I have some occasional questions about the character of Echo 216. I feel like this was the first time where I actually really liked all the characters, the villains, and even the sub-villains. And I think that's an important thing, because that was something that Halo, especially the original trilogy, it was something that I missed about the Halo games, because ever since 343 came in, there were all these bloated other characters that just kind of started to get on my nerves. I'm like, why are you here? Why are you constantly being, the Worf effect, the very famous thing about, where how to make a guy strong that's introduced beat the crap out of Master Chief or make him root to Master Chief. It's in this time, it's they're finally respecting Chief, but they're also adding characters that are just as strong. And I wanted to know what your thoughts about that, because I felt like that was an important thing to do for story for this game.
Yeah, I felt it was cool with the the more diversity in it as well with the characters.
Yeah.
Especially the audio logs. I found I was actually really interested in the audio logs. They were hearing all the portions of the stories and everything were really interesting. Hearing the perspectives of some of the other Spartans, and just seeing the UNSC people and the banished audio logs too. Hearing it from their side of view, and
I like the audio logs.
Some of it was messed up.
Loved it.
They talk about eating each other and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Did you ever sit and listen to the propaganda towers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And they sound exactly like the crazy giant grunt.
Oh yeah.
From Firefight.
Oh yeah. I want Firefight so bad.
I know.
About that.
I want
I want that
Firefight
so
and I
bad.
want Warzone. I want
I want
for-
Craig to come in as a boss in Firefight. I want Craig to be
Yeah.
a boss in Firefight.
Yeah. I wonder if anybody's found Craig yet, or like this, or like
I found
you have.
I found the band of
Okay.
his album in his world tour. Have you found that? It's on
No.
top of the huge banished structure at the beginning of the game. That
Oh.
huge. If you get to the top, yeah, there's a skull up there. You must have been up there, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been up there.
Yeah.
I didn't look around too much though. I was just like, all right, I finally got up here. I'm getting the
there's,
thing.
like,
And then later on,
stuff.
I got the wasp, and I was like, this could have been so much easier.
Oh,
Why did
man.
I do this?
Damn it! I should have done this. Just, I think
I like the openness of the game world, just being able to do whatever you want within it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like once you're kind of done with it, there's no real reason to go back to the open world. It'd be interesting if like there was almost like a territory any game that like unlocked, like, oh man, that would have been so cool. Like, oh, the Banished took over that area again. You got to go, but there's like a couple
Start taking
bosses
bases back.
Yeah, that spawn in, and it's like it's this much harder. I wonder if they'll do something like that.
And live
coming
events
up.
like we were talking about, I think those would be super awesome.
Yeah.
Just like have like a scarab just like bust in the ring and start like trying to take a base back or something.
The fact that they didn't use a scarab in the open world is, in my opinion, such a missed opportunity. It would have been awesome to see. Like, so they compare it to Breath of the Wild. Like in Breath of the Wild, there's these dragons that flew everywhere. It'd been cool if there was like an area where you're like, yo, there's a scarab just like straight up walking around that like part of the open world.
Yeah.
And there is even banished versions of the scarab that from Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, there was.
And you can't get on the Phantoms either.
No.
I was trying to get onto those using my grappling hook. I was hoping so hard I could get onto there and just like steal one of their ships.
Yeah.
For a game we've been waiting so long for.
Yeah.
Like I love the story and stuff. But man, there's a lack of stuff in this, right?
Does it feel very Destiny 1 vanilla in some form where it's like you feel like there was some stuff that was easily cut out and you're just like, I wish just I had a little bit more after that ending. I just wish I had some prolonging. It's funny you said that with the scarab and all that stuff, but I thought as soon as we finished it and I was, obviously you come back to the ring, I was like, oh, maybe there's some like additional more HVTs or there's like, more fobs that got, or something. Because there's parts of the open world, right? There's parts of it that's kind of blanked out. Have you noticed? Like it's only got like, there's like parts of the sections where like it looks a little like they must have cut something out here.
Well, they had mentioned the map was supposed to be like
Breath of the Wild?
4 times the size or whatever, like 3 or 4 times the size.
Yeah.
Like, so there's like 3/4 of the map are missing because they wanted to get everything in that they could. And I think we're going to end up seeing that as like DLC and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe a different biome.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe different enemies too. Like it was super disappointing that we only got like one new enemy, the skimmers, like in it. Yeah. When they introduced a whole like new enemy type with the sentinels, like I understand there was a couple sentinel enemies that were like stupid, but there was some with like the that like shot out like the almost like drone and they like put shields around them, and like if you didn't kill them they could bring them back to life and whatnot. And like we didn't even get like a new enemy besides these skimmers, which have like no lore to them at all. I would have loved to have been like,
that was surprising.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh,
like, what are these? Where did they come from?
Like we're gonna call them skimmers. I'd be like, what the fuck are these things? Like, it made no sense that they were even there. I'm like, you might as well put those. What were those like green bug creatures from Halo 2?
They felt like they felt exactly that.
The same thing.
Yeah,
I'm like, or just been like,
they can hold rocket launchers.
Yeah, like
I had a few that just destroyed me.
Yeah, they had shock rifles.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you were talking about villains and all that stuff, but every time I was in like an indoor level inside, I kept thinking, and I won't lie, I hope I'm not alone in this. I was like, oh my god, the flooding about to come in this level. Oh no,
yeah.
not okay, in this level, the flood are about to come, and they never came. And there were moments where I was like getting terrified for the anticipation because originally I remember when I first played Halo 1 and the flood came in, and I was like getting kind of spooked, and I remember feeling like oh my god, I don't want to kill these things because they're
Well, they even mentioned that the flood is there,
yeah
but there's something worse too, and you have to deal with the
Yeah.
something worse.
yeah
And it's funny because they allude to the, what are they called, the timeless or something like that, or
the endless
the endless,
The endless,
the
yeah.
endless.
yeah
And they keep on like talk about the endless, and then they don't even give
Too
us
much with that, yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
they must be planning big stuff with the DLC and everything, or
yeah
like whatever they're planning to do there, just because like they're saying it's gonna, like they want to make it like a live service and keep it going and going and going, right? Like, and I can't imagine they're just going to do the multiplayer with that.
Well, I feel like we haven't seen the live service, so
Yeah.
doesn't
I
really
don't-
feel live. Yeah,
like I don't think
And there's
we've seen the live service with the multiplayer, but like on the campaign front, like I can't even think of.
There's a lot of like Easter eggs and like little hints to things that were very confusing, but I think are hinting at ways they're going to go. Because like I found one big, like they were all the big tablets that held the different people and everything. So there was like humans and Covenant, and you can see their shapes. You can see the grunts, you can see the brutes.
Did
you
you
can
see
the
flood
one? Yeah,
There's a flood
and
one
then
in like a shield
yeah.
cube.
yeah, and I found a like a spider one.
Nice.
And then I found a few like other interesting little
Maybe
things.
that
Like
was
I found an
the-
arcade.
Maybe that might have been the
Might
flood
have been
one.
the flood
you saw.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was in like the
On the ceiling in like a force field cube.
Yeah.
It was okay. You remember when you encountered the first like brute boss guy when the elevator comes down, and you
Yeah.
have to go and get the power seed to power up the elevator and everything. If you go the opposite way of where you go to get the power seed, you find it in a room. There's a bunch of tablets laid out and everything, and then there's one big tablet in the center of the room that's being
It's a-
scanned.
Yeah,
A whole
and it's a
bunch.
flood. Is it the
Is it a flood one?
yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like it's got the web looking thing. Like
Okay, yeah.
I'm kind of doing it, and then that's a
It
flood.
looks kind of like a spider. Like so, I could see. it
That's
like
the
that,
flood.
like
Yeah, it's
that.
the flood. Kind of like this sign or something. It's because it was confirmed by like a data miner. I know what you're talking about. It was actually confirmed
Yeah,
that it was a thing.
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I will say though, I do love seeing all the little like extra stuff. You know, the sandwich. I went to see the sandwich, which was really cool. And then
And the little Master Chief toy.
yeah, all this stuff is fun. And then also one kind of thing that I want to say, and I hope like a lot of future multiplayer focused games can kind of do this, especially in their single player, is that you get some pretty cool unlockables, cosmetics, you know, and I think maybe this is something maybe like a Call of Duty should try to take advantage of, where, you know, like you play the campaign more thoroughly and you can unlock, because I know they're always afraid about doing all that stuff. So yeah,
Did you find they're
guys-
all like armor coatings and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
yeah. Oh yeah, that's
mostly-
true. I wish there was.
It's mostly colors and everything. Like there wasn't
I
a
would-
lot of. I'm not
Give
sure
me
if
a
there was.
full armor set. They should have gave me a full armor set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was hoping to get like at least one full armor set by like the end of the game. Get like a cool armor set so that
Yeah,
you can be like, hey, I beat the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
they've done stuff
I-
like that in the past too.
I started it on Legendary, so I don't know. Maybe you get one at the end of Legendary. I haven't looked it up, but
I doubt
I
it.
somehow did it.
It's true. It's true.
So,
I mean, I am excited for that stuff. Guys, I'll just be right back. Sorry, I just got like someone's just like calling my phone. I do apologize, but just keep me there. I'll be right over
keep
with
the
you guys.
energy going. Don't worry.
Yeah,
don't
keep the
worry.
energy going.
All right. So, but out of Halo Infinite and the 343 ones, what like where would you rank it up with like the other 343 ones at least?
I think honestly, it's I liked the campaign and like you were saying, the campaign in Halo 4 I liked a lot. Um, but I like the way this is structured more. I like how like open world it is and everything. I like being able to explore and like it was interesting seeing how well they put in like additional ways to try and invade a base or something. Like there was like a few different areas where it's like, okay, there's a cave you can sneak into and get to the top of a tower here.
Yeah, I noticed that. There was like a lot of different ways you could really tackle a situation if you wanted to really scope out like what you were doing.
Yeah,
I would almost
spend
wish
a little
there
more
was
time.
a mark system. Like I know there's a marking system in multiplayer, but I wish there was one in the single player
Campaign.
because I almost feel like I would have marked like every bad guy, kind of like what you do in some other games.
And it would
then
add
like
additional functionality to like the little scanner because like all you're using that for is to find like invisible guys, really.
yeah, exactly.
It's like I could
So,
I didn't have like a huge usage for that because it was just like, okay, well, I can put this out and I can see the invisible guys, or they're going to hit me once, and as soon as they get close to me, I'm going to be able to see where they are, and I can just start pounding the crap out of them until like I can see them all the time, or see them while I'm beating the crap out of them or filling them with bullets.
I like when you hit one of the invisible guys with the scanner and he's running around with it on him. It was fun.
Yeah, that happened in multiplayer too.
But there's a lack of big moments though, I find there's boss fights, but just a lack of big Halo moments in the game, which
Yeah, there was mostly just like the few missions that they had the bigger moments in, but there
I'd
still
say
wasn't.
the biggest I'd say the best open world structure was taking down the 3 turret guns that shot you down in that one level, and you're kind of confined to that area for a bit. I found that was the most with the Pelican like crashed in the middle. If they could have made like thinking back to that particular area of the campaign, that was by far the best kind of synergy between the open world and having those bigger Halo moments. Like Andrew, what I just said, what do you think about that? Like, how do you feel about that?
How dare you? Sorry about that. Our garage door was broken. Our garage door was broken into. So my mom was scared. So I just said, we'll just take care of it in 40 minutes. So really sorry, guys.
Okay?
No, everything's okay. Everything's okay. But something was broken into, so I just...
So you had to bring out your Master Chief, eh?
Yeah. No, I went downstairs because my mom was like panicking and all that stuff. And so I was just like, oh my God. Okay, I'll just take care of it after recording and all that stuff. So what a crazy little thing.
The man in the garage is like, Mom, I'm recording right now. I will deal with it.
I thought, no, here's the thing. I thought there was a man inside it there. That's why I was like, she was kind of thing. But my mom is a lot more older, so that's what she thought. And so my mom's English is also not the greatest. So that's what she almost insinuated. So I was like, I need to go down. So I apologize, boys. But
No worries.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is there's that level in the open world where you crash down with your Pelican and you get shot by the 3 turret guns.
Yeah.
And you have to go and take them. I said that's the best. I feel like that was the best structured open world segment of the game, period.
Yeah.
Like you came across that one area and you had to take the elevator going up.
Yeah.
And you took down the turret gun and then you could jump off and go after the other ones. But when you're done that, there was 2 of the like Spartan killers like waiting for you and you had to fight them in the middle. And like I'm like that right there was like perfect for
Can
this
I
new kind of structure Halo.
can I add something about one of those two guys? Do you know what they were carrying? One of the armors? They had
Locke's helmet.
helmet. I was like,
Yeah.
and that was like, I was like, part of me was like, shit, I missed that. And then I like watched it. Somebody actually put like a link, and I was like, whoa, just like that. You know what I mean? Just like that. I was like,
Yeah,
that's what.
I definitely wasn't going close enough to them. I was just like, I was
Because they
picking them
were,
up from super far away because they're super
yeah,
strong.
yeah, they were super strong, and one had a goddamn chopper, and I was like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? You didn't see it and all that. That is the best part.
I liked watching the turrets like blow up and like them falling apart and then like going after the other one, and then the bosses. So yeah, I found that was the best structured. But when the game tries to get linear, it doesn't get ballsy enough. Like where a lot of people were complaining, like the first part before you go into the open world wasn't as good. I'm like, what are you talking about? There was like, you're on the ship and it was like falling apart and like everything's falling and you're using a grapple hook to like parkour from like place to place and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't I get another big moment like that where you're actually using your grapple hook and stuff like that?
It's funny you said that because there was that stupid, by the way, I don't like to bang on gaming journalists, but that Kotaku article about that, I was just like, you don't know. I was just like, I remember when I said that, I was like, no, you don't. No, that's a great level. I was like, every time, like whoever wrote that article about how that first level is not that great, I'm like, that's Halo. That first level of Halo is always like that. It's like, you know,
that was great.
Yeah, and it was amazing.
Falling apart, and you're using your grapple hook to like get around the.
There's even like a spot where like the floor flooded and everything, and then you have to like grapple over across the tables and stuff.
And things were like it felt like physics and stuff. Like the boxes were all like flying at you and stuff.
Yeah,
and then you get nothing like that ever again in the entire game. And I thought like the ending, I'm like, it would have been cool if like they did essentially that again. Like we had really cool moments from like Halo 4 where you flew the ship and you're blowing up the things and you're like almost doing the trench run, or in Halo 5 when you're jumping down the Guardian, you know, and you're like jumping, you're doing these huge jumps because like you're like flying down the thing. I really wish we got something like that in this Halo because their engine is beautiful, which I found the cutscenes in Halo 5 had way better lighting. In Halo 5 and even Halo 2 Anniversary Edition has way better lighting than this game. This game, the lighting is still real off.
It's funny you say that because this game feels like it's a very Halo 2 development schedule where clearly that extra year, because I don't know if you guys watched that Power On documentary, it felt like this is what Halo Infinite, Halo Infinite's probably going through. It needed an extra year because this game needed to be, like, it just needed that time. You could tell this game was, like, made very last minute at times because there was some like, what do you call it? What's that thing where you just reuse some of the environments, some assets and all that stuff? Like, there was a lot of levels that kind of felt like, especially when you go underground and you go to the thing, it was very, it was very reused, and I almost kind of gotten tired of some of those levels, and every time I was like, when are the Flood coming or something different and all that stuff. But we should kind of move on. I don't know if we've talked about it, but before we do, what do you guys rank this in your Halo level for all the Halo games? Like, what would you rank this one in? Would this be number one, or would this? I don't think this is the last one, as like everybody's worst Halo game. But I'd be curious about what you guys think.
I would rank it in campaign. My favorite campaign is Halo ODST. There's so many good moments, like when the orbital elevator explodes, or you're holding out the Oni base. Just really cool.
It was cool exploring that whole side of it more.
Yeah. So I'd say ODST is my favorite. Halo 3. Then I'd say Halo 2, Halo
Okay.
1, Halo Infinite, Halo 4, Halo Reach, and then probably Halo 5. That's my
Okay.
order.
Okay. So you actually like Halo 4's campaign better than Infinite. It's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
The story is way better.
Yeah.
With
Dan?
the dieback and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I agree with Josh. Like his lineup is pretty much like same as mine. I might switch around Halo 1 and Halo 2 just
Yeah.
because I liked Halo 1 just a touch more because it was like one of the first things that really brought me
Yeah.
toward gaming a whole
I
bunch
might
more.
switch that too. Yeah. I
Yeah.
could switch.
Yeah.
Like campaign wise, like I liked the campaign of Halo 4 more,
Yeah.
but I like the gameplay of Halo Infinite. I mean,
Yeah.
with all the
I'd say the
advancements they
gameplay
made and
for
everything, I
Infinite-
mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
I'd say the
You can't really go
gameplay
wrong.
for Halo Infinite is the best in the series, no doubt.
Yeah. I would say that too. I
just like I like the powers and everything too,
Yeah.
and like I like going invisible whenever I like thrust around and stuff. It was cool
Yeah.
once you fully upgrade everything too.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I will say I'm in the same kind of boat, but I definitely put like 4 and 5 in the thing because I just hated facing the Prometheans. I just thought they were the worst enemies ever. I was never a fan of those guys. And I'd say this is 343's best game, at least. That's what I'll say. In terms of ranking, it's in the middle Halos. I don't know if it's as great as the original trilogy for me, but I feel like it's right beside Reach for me. That's what I feel like because it feels like
Yeah. But you never know. In 2 years, once we get the expansion
gonna
pack,
say. Yeah.
like expanded
room to
multiplayer,
grow.
firefight and
Yeah.
stuff, like this
Forge.
game in 3 years, oh man, it
Could be. Yeah.
because the gameplay, the bones is there. Like,
You could say the future is endless for this, and that's apparently what the supposed.
endless. Okay, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, no, I mean, like it's infinite. You fuck.
What the hell's wrong with you idiot? Did you went downstairs and you came back and you forgot how to? I'm just kidding.
Forgot
Anyway, but yeah, overall, I'm sure we'll keep talking about it as the week goes on. But we have other things to talk about, and we gotta get to it. But overall, I think all of us three we're pretty happy with it. We're pretty satisfied with it, and we're hoping there's more to announce for Halo. And obviously there will be. It's a live game, apparently. At the moment, it doesn't feel that live, but it's apparently a live game with getting more updates and campaign and other modes. So it's all good. It's all good. So I'm pretty happy. Okay, so we should kind of get back to our discussions and topics. I know I made a little rant about the Game Awards, but Josh, I want you to give a shout out for your boy because he wanted to talk about this. And you got to talk about it. Talk to me about It Takes Two. You know.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Okay. Let's start the big topic. All the announcements and reveals we'll get into, but I just want to say, would like to put a congratulations to all the winners, especially Joseph Ferris, and who took home Game of the Year for It Takes Two, and it's well deserved.
Nice.
It was a very innovative game, forced co-op, but innovative, and it worked. Yeah. The story, I would say, Psychonauts 2 story is definitely way better than that. It's a little goofy here and there, but in raw gameplay and creativity, definitely deserves it. But I want your quick opinion because me and Dan had the pleasure of talking about this last week.
Yeah.
But what's your quick opinion on the Hellblade trailer?
Well, all I'm going to say is I just want a release date. God, this game looks beautiful. It really does look breathtaking. I cannot wait for this game to come out. And I will say the one tiny criticism is that I'm not the biggest fan of like walking games or games where you're just kind of like waiting for things to happen and like the cinematics and all that stuff. I need like a really engaging story, but I like this type of lore. I like fantasy games. I like also stories with great themes with the psychosis that they're talking about. So yeah, listen, it was obviously one of the best trailers in the Game Awards, and it was definitely one of the biggest talked about. All I can say is, just give me a release date. That's all I'll say. Just give me a release date.
What did you think of the visuals, though? I feel like I feel like this was the first time we actually saw a next gen game like running in front of us. Besides the Matrix demo you're going to see later.
Yeah. I will also tell anybody who's watching it, don't watch the stream version. Watch the 4K version that's out. Because the stream version will be a little bit of downgrade. But when you watch that 4K version and you see that giant kind of like chasing towards you, there's elements of like fear and scare that like you see in like traditional horror games. But this was just kind of like a disturbing image, and it felt so real that I just, I mean, visually this is beautiful. The fire effects, one of the best looking fire effects that I saw, because it was at a moment where I was like, I couldn't stop looking at that arrow's fire. Astounding.
Oh yeah. And also like, I feel like this was Microsoft coming out and just being like, one, this is why we bought Ninja Theory. And two, you thought we couldn't do like a art piece kind of thing?
Yeah.
You thought we couldn't do something that is incredibly has some incredible graphics, insane fidelity. Here it is. And I feel like that is, if I was Sony, I'd be like, okay, they are really not playing around this generation. Like that looks like our kind of studio quality in production kind of level here.
And we kind of need,
and we need that. Like, and we praise Sony all the time for their games like God of War, The Last of Us, Uncharted, Spider-Man. These are all gorgeous. Ghost of Tsushima, like these are all gorgeous games. The graphics are amazing.
That's true.
And I think we're going to start seeing that coming out of Xbox studios and stuff like that.
You took those exact words that I wanted to say. We needed a game like this because this was kind of like you know what's funny? It's like it was PlayStation 4 games literally bled these types of games, and it was the games that they definitely kind of said, we have this. What do you have compared to that? And
I feel like we started with that. Like, let's not all forget as Lord Cog says from Iron Lord, we had the best 900p game on the market. Rise, Son of Rome, man.
It was a beautiful game. It was a very beautiful game.
Like, I feel like in hindsight, looking back at that game, had an awesome story. That story for Rise, you play it today, get to the end, the story is so good. It's amazing. It's an amazing story, actually. It actually has an amazing story.
Yeah.
And the graphics are incredible in that game. And I feel like we should have stuck with that kind of momentum.
Yeah. I think the reviews for that game were a little overblown. That's all I'll say.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just say it, the reviews are a little bit overblown.
Everyone was butthurt.
TV. Well, right, obviously. Yeah.
They were going to shit on an actual good game,
I know. And you know what? Hey, I'm happy that the ball's on our side right now, and we're shooting for the stars. Yeah, and Hellblade 2, I'm excited for it. You know what's another game I'm excited for? Even though I didn't know they were going to make a sequel for it, because I was just like, oh yeah, that's a sequel to a game that was made a while ago. Warhammer Space Marine 2.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a sequel I never knew I wanted. I did play the very first game. It was by Relic Entertainment. And Relic's mostly they do a lot of RTS games. So the Company of Heroes and all that stuff. I think they made a game called The Outfit. So they made a couple of other third-person shooters, but this was like a Gears clone with Warhammer in it. But I'm excited. It looks cool, but not from Relic. This is from Saber Interactive, the World War Z guys, I think. So
yeah, and it's published by Focus, which they are a fantastic publisher and definitely getting that reputation of being, if it's published by Focus, you probably want to actually, take some time and actually play the game. But Space Marines, totally cool game, action third-person shooter. The cinematic they showed was pretty dope. The guys were pretty much on the brink of losing, and then the Space Marines come down like a bunch of fucking ODSTs and just start ripping them apart. And man, they cut one in half. It's pretty brutal. And stab one and just rip his head off and shit. Oh my god. So that looks, and then they show actual gameplay at the end. They show a quick couple shots of actual gameplay. So it's gonna be a cool game, I think. Yeah,
there's a lot of. I kind of secretly wish I got into Warhammer. I never got into it, and there's it's such a big IP because I realize we have another Warhammer game that's supposed to be coming soon. I think that's Darktide. I want to say that's a 4-player co-op game, and there's obviously
it's 40K also.
Yeah,
it's Warhammer and Warhammer 40K.
Yeah,
so that's the future, more sci-fi stuff. So that's what more what I dig for that.
Yeah,
but I think it looks good, and it seems like Focus. Focus. I guess they're not called Focus Home. What are they called?
Focus Entertainment. Focus Entertainment.
And it looks like they have a new logo they were showing off at the Game Awards too. So it's kind of their reintroduction at the Game Awards that was going on. And they showed off 2 more trailers after the. So we're going to kind of be flying through these a little bit because there's a lot, and we're not going to go through every announcement as well because. Then
too many to announce, too many to talk. Yeah. And we'll give kind of tiny special shout-outs down the line. But yes, as you were saying, Focus Entertainment also had 2 awesome trailers to show, and they were...
A Plague's Tale 2 and Evil West. So let's talk about Evil West for a second. Did you watch the trailer for this? I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah. I, you know what? It kind of reminded me of, there was an original Xbox game that came out 16 years ago called Dark West, I want to say, or Dark, it was
exactly what
do you know what I'm talking about? It was Dark Watch?
I know what you're talking about too.
Dark Watch. I think it was Dark Watch.
Dark Watch. That's what it reminded me of, but obviously much more graphical, fidelity here, and it's just prettier. I'm a sucker for these cross-genre games where it's a bit of horror and also Western or something like that. Yeah. So I'm kind of all in, even if I think the story might be kind of I don't know, maybe it's terrible or the character is way too wooden. I don't give a shit. I'm more I'm down for this gear. I'm down for killing these people. Hopefully, I just wish I knew more about it. All I know is that it kind of looks like a third-person Gears clone as well in a little bit, or it looks kind of more of an action adventure.
Have you ever played Remnant from the Ashes?
No, but is it... Okay, but I think I know what you're talking about. It's
It kind of reminded me of that. Probably not as hard, because Remnant is it's a Dark Souls-y third-person shooter, but it had that kind of... It's a third person, but I don't think it's a cover-based third-person game.
Yeah.
Kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it looks fun.
Nice.
But, man, A Plague Tale. What a game.
Plague's Tale. Right. It's just called Requiem. It's not called 2. I thought it was called Plague's Tale 2, but it's called
A Plague Tale Requiem. And it's from Asobo, right?
Yep. Microsoft Flight Sim.
Flight Simulator people, they definitely know how to make a very pretty game.
Yeah.
Microsoft, buy these guys after this game. Right?
Thank you. It's funny you just said that because I was like, Josh, that's the next acquisition.
Buy them before someone buys them.
Yeah.
Because
they
need these guys.
And these guys are mostly making AA level games on a AA budget, so they probably do not have a big I think Plague's Tale did not have heavy funding. I think it was like a double A game from what I'm
And
told.
it's one of the best narrative. Have you beaten it?
Oh, I beaten it. Can I just
It
say
has one of
something?
the best narratives in all of gaming.
It had
It's amazing.
You know what? It's funny. It had like it had a little bit of like a Last of Us vibes, but I thought gameplay wise, and I played Last of Us, and I know I'm gonna get like shit on. I thought it was actually better than Last of Us because it had a lot more cool things with cooperative elements with an NPC character.
Yeah, and using light and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so also it had the more original story. Like it just felt like one of those stories where I was like, okay, I want to know what's happening on for their next adventure.
Also,
I want to know.
They also use interesting mechanics.
Oh yeah,
with rats and stuff like that.
I have like a fear of rats, by the way, but I remember when I first saw them, I was like scared about it, but then now I got kind of used to it. Now I'm seeing, because we also saw the trailer for it at E3, and the rats look even more realistic.
Oh yeah.
So
the game just looks. I get a lot of Team Ninja vibes.
Yeah.
Or Ninja Theory. No, not Team Ninja. Ninja Theory.
Yeah.
From the studio. Like purchase them because their next game could be shown off like Hellblade was shown off. I feel like, now that Ninja Theory has a company, a $1 trillion company like Microsoft behind them, to do essentially whatever they want. They have access to focus groups. Like focus groups are so important to have access to. So they have access to focus groups. They have access to research labs. They have access to just tons of resources like across the board.
Yeah.
And I feel like that already shows with their project, the flight simulator project.
Yep.
Like this is what Asobo can do. Look at Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
And look at Plague's Tale. Like give them a story mode game where they have an even bigger budget. Oh, I feel like this studio, they're only scratching the surface of
Yeah.
It's either like focus by these guys so they can keep on doing good work for you, or Microsoft buy them.
Yeah, hopefully Sony doesn't. But it's funny that you just said this, but a lot of people don't realize this. This game's coming to Game Pass day one.
It is.
So, if you're not aware about
that relationship with Flight Simulator.
Probably Microsoft put some money into this, in the funding for Focus, because Focus probably didn't have like big funding to fund a sequel, probably. So I think Microsoft put in some money into it. That's what I'm guessing.
What engine does this run off? Is it a proprietary engine?
I don't know. Like I want to say like they have their own engine, and then I don't know, because I know obviously you were even saying it to yourself. You said it before that it was using the Forza engine for Microsoft Flight Sim, but I just don't know what the engine for Plague's Tale is. It's just must be either their own proprietary engine, or you never know. Could be the Forza engine. You never know. I don't know. We'll see. But that's
Dan,
good.
What do you think of?
It's an in-house engine.
Oh, okay. So it is their own.
Well, I'm sick. I'm extra helpful because I can hide behind my picture and research things.
Love it. Thank you, Dan.
You can tell I'm A-okay with you guys.
They can't see it, but you keep on giving me those sexy eyes. And
Yeah. He looks kind of like Max Payne right now. He really looks like Max Payne's video game character model from number 1. But nice. No,
that's
same quality of texturizing and everything too.
But it shows that they're like the fact that they're indie developer and they use their own in-house engine and it looks that good.
Yeah.
These guys are wizards and they should buy them.
Yeah.
But finally we got a release date of a Xbox game, and it looks like we're going to get a very packed first half of next year.
Oh yeah.
We are getting Crossfire X, and you know what? I feel like people are sleeping on this game.
Yep. Thank you.
Because we're getting a story campaign is developed by Remedy Studios. So that would be Remedy's first time getting into a first-person shooter. And this looks like a mixture of like Metal Gear Solid meets like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome. I think this looks really cool. I don't really know much about Crossfire. I know it's a big Chinese.
I know it's in the Asian markets.
I don't know what company is tied to it and how they're tied to like the communist party, but
Smile
from what
Game.
I can see,
It's a South Korean developer, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I think you are right. I think the game is actually really huge in around that in China as well. So you are right about that. It's
okay.
Yeah, because it is obviously it's a free to play game.
Better.
Yeah, it's a free to play. Yeah.
I don't know how I personally feel about supporting. Like I said, there's tons of great stuff that comes out of China. There's great people, but anything that kind of supports their communists, I'm not into.
But the South Koreans in the end, Josh, that's his people.
I love it. South Koreans. Yeah, those are my people right there.
Yeah, just kidding. Yeah, but
I love South Korea. No,
Josh,
they're great and free.
I'm with you. I'm with you in this because I think as soon as I saw that trailer out, and I think it was supposed to be announced at 2020. It was supposed to come out at the fall of 2020. So this game has had a year and a half long delay because it was supposed to come out at the launch of the Series X and S, and then it just kind of got delayed. And then
they had a beta for the multiplayer, and I don't think that went down so well.
Yeah, but did you know that it's actually using two engines? The campaign is actually using Remedy's engine, and the multiplayer is actually just using Unreal Engine. So
I think it feel completely different too.
Yeah. I don't really care about the multiplayer. I just want to play a Remedy version of Call of Duty campaign, and I don't care about the multiplayer. I'll give the multiplayer a shot. You know what? I'll give it a shot because I feel like it's free to play, but all that stuff. I don't know what's going on if they're announcing it for Game Pass, because it's an Xbox ID game. So that does not mean it's Game Pass. So there's still like no definition about like if it's coming on Game Pass, what the pricing is. But maybe Microsoft can come in with something. But
if they're smart, that game would be on Game Pass day one.
Yeah,
it's a brand new IP.
That's true, and it's looks cool, and I'm happy for Remedy. They're doing a lot of work, and it's we'll see when it comes out. February 10th. It's pretty soon, folks. Very, very soon.
And speaking of people getting some work, it looks like Quantum Dreams, the guys who made Heavy Rain in Detroit Become Human, are going multi-platform finally and going into IP space, actually taking on the Star Wars license with Star Wars Eclipse. It will be the first title in the High Republic era. So you can see this is, think episode 1, where they're like the city of the Jedi, but like I think 100 kind of in that kind of time period, but before all of like the movies.
On Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on Coruscant in the High Republic era when they're at like, the height of their power and stuff like that. And I feel like this is, from the vibe I got from this trailer, with like the aliens like drumming on the drums and just showing like the chanting, and then like that dark figure comes out, and it seems like they're going to get into more of like the fantasy-ish kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Star Wars, which I totally dig.
Yeah.
That's Jedi focused.
And they're great. Like, I don't know if this was a CGI clip or an engine.
It was not gameplay. It was actually, it even said it on the trailer. This is not a gameplay presentation. So it was like, it showed right after the credits, and I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, I wish it was, but that being said, I played Detroit Become Human. That game's graphics was phenomenal. And I do like Quantum Dream. They are a good developer. I've started liking them ever since they made that game Indigo Prophecy, which was like a really weird kind of like mystery game. I don't know if you guys ever played that game, Indigo Prophecy. It was like it came out on the original Xbox. It's one of those out there games, but it had interesting mechanics. It's, you know what it is? It feels like a Telltale game, with like hyper realistic graphics. That's pretty much most of Quantic Dream's games are. They're essentially like adventure games, or with really great focus on story.
Basically, the concept Myst was like based on.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like an adventure game like that, or like a Telltale game, like the Walking Dead games and stuff like that. So that's what they're kind of known for.
Yeah.
Which I find Star Wars is a good medium for that. Plus, it sounds like David, is it his name?
David Cage. I think David Cage
sounds
is.
like he's always wanted to make a movie anyway. So.
Yes, you are right, because that is literally like all his games kind of feel like it's very. You know what it feels like? You know what he reminds me of? It reminds me of like a Western version of Hideo Kojima at times. That's like it's a little bit more, he's an ideas guy or something. Obviously, some people aren't the biggest Kojima fans.
France or something? Isn't he French?
Yeah, you're right. So I guess a European version of Hideo Kojima. So yeah, Paris. So yeah, we'll see.
It's a whole new frontier for them. But
yeah.
Speaking of frontiers, we got Sonic Frontiers.
Look at you.
All right. You like that?
Yeah. Open world Sonic. Open world Sonic.
You see this trailer? So basically, it was funny. When the trailer was done, I was like, this reminds me of that Unreal tech demo, like some fan made online.
Yeah.
Of Sonic around in an open world.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're like, you know what? Let's do that. And they kind of did the whole like, oh god, this is such a cliche, but they're doing the whole Breath of the Wild, like
because of grass.
Yeah, grassy fields.
Yeah,
just gotta get Sonic and some Master Chief armor.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Will Sonic work in an open world?
Yeah, that's true.
We're gonna have to slow him down quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was funny because as soon as I started watching that trailer, my oldest daughter came over and she was asking about it and everything, and I played it for her. And then after that, I was like, "You're so lucky at the games that you're getting introduced to now." And I showed her the original Sonic that I played when I was her age.
That was a fun game. I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get that Sonic game on her tablet.
Yeah, that's true.
You can get it on Teslas now.
Yeah. All right.
may I do chime in? Remember, like a few weeks ago, on our podcast, we were talking about Sega. Do you think this is the big Sega Mega game that they keep talking about, or do you think this is not
super game?
Because I was like, is this it? I was like, I don't think so.
Me and Dan think it's going to be like a metaverse kind of NFT blockchain base. Game that utilizes their IP as more like secondary things, and you're like your own like human character.
Makes
and
sense.
You're like, oh, you want to go to the world of Yakuza? Here, you go in there with your character. You want to go to
hang with
Sonic?
Sonic?
This game, much like Halo, just kind of realized that the Breath of the Wild gameplay style works. Yeah. And they took elements of that and then incorporated it into their game. But I think Super Game's got to break a few walls. It's got to be something a lot more than just
open world. Game feels like it might even be a VR thing.
Yeah, I just hope Sega doesn't have another blunder with Sonic. Sometimes they occasionally have those Sonic blunder games where they're just not good. It's like. You could say like these games have gone to a career suicide sometimes, where it just doesn't, they haven't panned out. There's quite a few Sonic games that didn't pan out as much as it has.
Well,
so
I hope they just kind of. I feel like every Sonic game gets so gimmicky where it's like, are you going up to your team and being like, what are you guys passionate about making as a Sonic game, or you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this might be that kind of project.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, let's take our time and make a AAA
Sonic game. True.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
But what game is looking AAA for sure is that Suicide Squad game. Man,
oh yeah.
Gameplay. Like, let's
finally
talking about panning around the world and seeing grassy fields and potential.
Yeah.
We finally actually see some gameplay out of the Suicide Squad. So let me kind of read my little blurb here. So DC announced, so let's talk about DC for a bit, because they were kind of a star of the show too, in my opinion. And we finally get gameplay for Suicide Squad. And to be honest, when they first announced this game, I wasn't sure about it at all, based more around the fact that it was a Suicide Squad game, not so much the pedigree of the studio itself.
Yeah.
After the reveal, like, I'm so pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
They're doing like a fun third-person shooter, and it looks like it's very inspired by Sunset Overdrive, that like sense of momentum you're getting, where it feels like you want to constantly be moving and shooting and flying around the city.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get my hands on this now and play co-op with you guys.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dan, especially, like, what do you think of this gameplay reveal, finally seeing Captain Boomerang, Killer King Shark and
King Shark, yeah. Deadshot and Harley. Yeah, it looks awesome. I can't wait. I was especially even just like trying to decide which one of them like I'd want to be too. And like, yeah, King Shark looked pretty awesome. Just like beefing around, like ripping a dude in half or something. I remember him like, yeah, that looks cool too.
I can't wait to kill the members. I can't wait to kill them. I can't wait to kill them.
Right? Like, I'm interested to see how those battles go, because you're going to have to go up against Superman at some point. I don't know how the hell they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, the Flash, at least you could maybe trick, and like that, they mainly showcased the Flash there.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it's and then eventually you're going to have to fight Brainiac too. That's probably going to be like the jump over. Like, yeah, I think you're going to realize you can't beat Superman. And you're going to have to go after Brainiac to try and, like, free them from his control or something.
Yeah. It comes to, we can't beat him. We have to just free him. But
that would be pretty funny.
Captain Boomerang looks so fun. He was, like, zipping around and throwing his boomerang and teleporting and
very Sunset.
All these things, like, like very Sunset Overdrive, right?
Yeah.
Especially that scene where Harley Quinn was swinging around the, like, corners of the building there. It reminded me of like when you pulled out your umbrella in Sunset and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know what I mean? And DC's, like, as you were saying, DC's going on fire with this, because just right after that, there was another DC announcement, and nobody saw this, because obviously you get a ton of leaks. And Monolith Studio, that great studio behind Fear and the Middle-earth franchises like Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, are taking on the open world genre again. But this time, it's another DC franchise, Wonder Woman. And, oh, wow. I mean, obviously you just saw a teaser. We haven't seen anything else, but how awesome it is to see a powerful female character like Wonder Woman finally getting her own game by a very good developer. I'm excited for this, even though all we saw was a teaser. But, after seeing what the Shadow of Mordor games were, I'm like, I'm down for a Wonder Woman version of this. I don't know about you. I mean, that just looks amazing.
I think it'll be good. They'll get to explore some of the Wonder Woman lore and really, like, put some cool moves on her and everything too. Like, the Wonder Woman movies have been doing so good. It'll be awesome to see this game. I can't wait.
And it seems like it's on the Amazon island of Themyscira, because it says in the trailer, he's like, you can hear her mom's like talking about her, and she's like, I'm calling you back home for this reason. So I think we might get the whole island of Themyscira, and I'm curious what their take on that will be, if they'll kind of go like, oh, let's turn the island into like, there's the Amazon city, and then there's like a free city of like ancient like people and like creatures, stuff like that, or like dark ancient ruins and stuff. I'm curious if they go really
maybe the Atlanteans, because I remember in the comics they had an issue with the Atlanteans, right?
Well, and like I feel like they can use what they've learned from playing in the Middle Earth world of, more fantasy like settings and stuff, and really flesh out, because there's like great mythology for Wonder Woman, especially if you read the New 52 Wonder Woman with the whole Greek gods like coming in, and
I was just gonna say, like,
they're so
I
cool.
feel like this could be very much like our God of War sort of thing. Like, because it's revolved around the same sort of history and everything, and like you get to explore like Wonder Woman, like especially in the comics and everything. Like she becomes the God of War.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for a while. Yeah.
Oh man, that was
It's
pretty cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I'm excited for it. I mean, it's funny when you were saying all this. I was also thinking about all the cheesy parts of Wonder Woman. Where like, will she get an invincible plane? Or like, what's the lasso gonna do for a certain? I could just see like some sort of minion where like she needs to interrogate, so she just uses a lasso, and like the lasso's like, okay, this is how you get to the top of this place. You know what I mean? This is all that stuff.
Well, I was like in like Shadow of Mordor, right? It's
Yeah.
Like you grab the person's face, she's just gonna lasso.
Yeah, and it's just gonna be
like,
fun.
I wonder if they'll do what they did in the movie where she can lasso to like thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would be pretty cool. That would
That'd be
be
sick.
so awesome.
So if there'd be some cool traversal stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Yeah,
But
that's true.
let's talk about the big sequel for us Xbox fans. Besides, the Hellblade reveal and Remedy. Remedy. There's like a couple. Like Remedy showed off 2 games essentially there. Crossfire X and now Alan Wake 2. We are finally getting a sequel to one of my personal favorite games of the 360 era.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting kind of episodic thriller that took you through this like Pacific Northwest lake town where you're staying at a resort and you're getting attacked by these
dark things. Dark things. That's all I'll say. I don't know what the.
Yeah. It's a very cool game, and like objects could come to life and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
cool. It's interesting when you were saying this, but Sam Lake, the guy from Remedy, said it's going to be moving to more survival genre because the original game was like survival horror, while the original game was secretly like a third-person shooter because you did have your bullets, you did have, you constantly did have some sort of weapon. Man, I forgot how great that game was and how an intense graphical leap for the 360 it was. It was like, it really pushed the crap out of the 360. I think that game took forever to make, too.
Have any of you played Control?
Yes.
So,
yep.
I'm very curious now that they're going to be essentially slowing things down. They're taking on the survival horror, kind of psychological genre.
Yeah.
And Remedy games are known for fast action games. They are quick action games. Control is a wicked action game. I would imagine Crossfire X is going to be a really fast-paced first-person shooter action game.
Yeah.
But they do very interesting stuff in those fast action games. So how is it going to be when they decide to slow things down? Really use audio to their advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Their settings, the world like morphing around you and like messing with your head. I feel like Remedy is a very innovative company to kind of take on that genre and be successful at it.
You know, what's funny, while you were saying that, the original game was coming back to me. There were always these really great like glimpses of horror moments where like the game's camera angle kept moving back. And it was like alluding to like, this is where this, like this creature is going to come from here. And you were watching it from like this like third perspective. And so I was thinking like, I wonder if they're going to do some of those moments. Cause I remember some of the like the horror elements of the original Alan Wake. And I was like, it was just a great little like way. And it didn't move that fast. I remember the game wasn't that like Alan Wake didn't have, a running mechanic. He just kind of like regularly walked. So, and the last thing I want to say is that it's kind of funny that Epic Games is making it because you think they're going to be like, hey, this would look perfect on Unreal Engine 5, and they're like, no, we've got an engine, we've got our engine, and it's
Well, I
ready.
don't know. Like, right? They're publishing it, right? Will they
Yeah.
force them to use Unreal, or will they keep on with their in-house engine that they're used to? But honestly, Unreal 5 is so impressive,
Yeah.
technically, that if you are working on your proprietary engine and it can't do the things that Unreal 5 can do,
Yeah.
then why would you
That's
not
true.
want to do that? You know?
Yeah.
Especially if it's not going to ruin your game or spoil anything.
Yeah.
Dan, what do you think? Are you excited for Alan Wake 2? Are you a fan of Alan Wake? Is Remedy Games your kind of thing? What do you feel?
Yeah,
like?
definitely. I think I'm going to definitely check out Alan Wake 2. I got through most of it over on whatchamacallit, my PC.
Yeah.
But no, it was really good to play. It was like, it's a nice mix of like horror and thriller, and keeps you interested and intrigued just enough that you'll want to keep shitting your pants.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doesn't like shitting your pants, right?
Nice. Nice.
Right?
Yeah. And I'm curious if they're going to use light. Like,
yeah.
He's holding like a flashlight, almost like a makeshift.
That was a very important tool in Alan Wake. It's so funny when you're saying all this. I'm like, oh yeah, that was an important. God, that
but
game.
You can notice the trailer, like they do real life stuff because Remedy loves using real life people. But he was holding this like light bulb flashlight baton kind of thing.
Yeah.
That looked interesting, almost like a torch with a light bulb on it. So I'm very curious how they'll use lighting. Man, if they use like ray trace shadows in this game, and they could do some really interesting stuff. And like the smoke creatures and the people like with all the blurred out faces and the objects coming to life. Like, imagine you walk into a house and the house is like alive and it's just like warping around you and just messing with you the entire time. Because there's this really cool scene in Control where you're going through this maze, and this like the only way to go through it is you have to like listen to a song on a tape recorder, and it's this heavy like metal song, and you're going through this maze flying around just shooting. This place is like coming together and moving like a it's a wild scene. It is probably one, like, look it up if you haven't played it, look it up online. The maze scene, it is amazing.
Nice.
So definitely check that out.
Overall, I'll say like it's exciting, and not only that, but like there's just so many games for the Game Awards. There's so many new games for 2022 and beyond.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about like everything.
I know. I mean, I will say there's like a few things I was going to say, like Nightingale. I'm happy for Nightingale and Somerville, and there's a bunch more, but I'm just like, I'll wait till those games kind of, have their due. They weren't the talk of show. Like, these were the talk of show, but felt like that was, that was just more than enough. I'm excited. Yeah. I was going to say, Josh, I feel like after this, I think we're going to have our own Game of the Year stuff, right? Soon, or what are we doing after this?
We're going to be good after this. Well, there's still some... We'll still have an episode after this, and we might take like 1 week off.
Yeah. And then we'll... Nice.
And then sometime in January, we're going to be doing our Game of the Year episode. So I don't think it will be the first week of January.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do the Game of the Year either mid-January or right at the end, but we are going to be having a special guest on that episode. So I'm just going to be working it out just a little bit more and seeing what kind of works for them in that month. But it'll also give us more than enough time to really sit back and think about what we enjoyed, because you never know. Like, I could be playing the Gunk tomorrow and be like, this is like the best game. Yeah, like it could be incredible. Yeah. So I really want us to write down what we think, how we feel about these games. And you know what? Even if the game didn't release this year, but you beat it, put it on the list. It doesn't matter. It's what your personal game of the year is. So if you think Doom was your personal game of the year, Doom Eternal, than that is. And, it got that huge ray tracing update, so I feel like we
Oh, like a new game? Yeah. That's true. That's awesome.
So,
yeah, nice. Well, that's it for this week. That was a good week. So happy to finally finish and talk about Halo with you guys and all that stuff.
It's done. It's finally over.
Ooh, that just that feeling of like after that campaign, I was just like, okay, I'll just wait for who else is done, and so I can talk about it. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just save it for the podcast because I want to talk about it. And then I was also like, there's still more to talk about, but I'm also going like, this is a live game, and as soon as that came out, it was the Game Awards, and I was like, oh my god, this is just too much. There's a lot coming out at once. Yeah. Dan, how do you feel about sending us off? You still doing there, or you want me to do it for you?
I'll let you do it tonight because I might end up packing up alone halfway through.
No, I hope you feel better, buddy. Take it easy and take it rest as well. Well, yeah, all right. I guess I'll send it off, but nowhere as beautiful as Dan. But I'll just do whatever I can.
Do it, Andrew.
Yeah. Well, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube page. Hit the like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Xbox North Podcast, that's our channel. You can also find us on audio only on Spotify, Google Podcasts. Just look for Xbox North Podcast. We are also on Reddit, Instagram. Look up Xbox North. And for Twitter, at North Xbox. Andrew Ravindran joining me, as always, even with you, Dan. I love how you look today. There you are. With Joshua James and Dan Robertson. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Nada.